But anyways, this whole entire book series is really fucking crazy. Let me tell you something. And I asked and one of my friends told me, and which I am going to make improvements on. And I'm glad she told me and she gave her constructive criticism for that shit. Because when I look back on this shit, I was like, yeah, it's really missing that shit. Even that day when she told me, I didn't have no hard feelings or none of that shit. Which is, I'm glad. Because some niggas, and I'm glad she trusted me enough to tell me. Because some niggas you would try to give constructive criticism to, they'll just, nah, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Her shit actually makes sense. She told me 2 things that I just need to work on. Actually 3. Which is basically, I need to include some more lore, some more exposition, but don't overdo it. Second thing was right there, and right fucking there. I had no fucking sound effects. Like, I didn't do no boom, no skish, no da da da, and you'll see that throughout the whole book. I ain't did no boom. I ain't had no sound effects in that bitch. And then not only that, they was bantering a little bit, but there was hardly any banter. It was just moving plot. But I guess it's because part of me wanted to get done with this shit quickly, because I didn't really have a lot of time for this shit, bro. Because I was working, going to school, and doing other shit. And I'm all by myself, and I gotta write the script, draw the pictures, do the storyboard, all this shit. And, and also go to school and keep up the good grades and then go to work as well. And that shit's just kind of hard to do all that shit by yourself. So anyways, bam. Caught the shit that he threw at him. Got punched in the face. Nigga did not budge. Okay, if any nigga punches you in the face and they don't budge, I think that's time to back out. But Zero, he wasn't having none of that. Caught his ass, lacking, froze his damn arm. And if you'll see right here, I actually made a mistake, but you know what? Fuck that. Here's what we're gonna do. That's not a mistake at all. You just, off screen, he touches the other arm. But honestly, it's supposed to be that arm right there. That not the left one, the right one that got frozen. But it ended up being the left one. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I was kind of high when I drew some of these pictures, I won't lie to you. Bink. With his tail, because that shit, his tail is fucking hard as shit when we get throughout this. His tail is literally indestructible. You'll understand the whole series when we get in this bitch. Hit his arm the fuck off. Got this nigga crying. And then we drew Zero right there. We, meaning me, myself, and motherfucking I. Drew Zero right there. With the blood on his shit, talking all his shit. All the contestants. I ain't feel like drawing all these niggas. I feel like they computer generate some of these drawings anyways, or at least they have more help to draw all the niggas in the background. I didn't, and I ain't have a lot of time, so I said fuck it. We just gonna draw it the way how I envisioned it being drawn. He walks away with the blood on his fucking tail. They follow him. That's some of the niggas that fuck with Zero. Zero never talks to them niggas, and he never really fucks with none of them niggas. And partially it's because them niggas is weak as hell. But you know what? I don't want to spoil too much about this damn series. Because I still want to do the series. Even though I'm doing a lot of shit, I still want to see if I can get this TV series, TV show, or maybe even this manga to start popping off and start going crazy. And then you got that boy right there. And they and his name is Zero Pyramerian. And they called him Zero the Pyromancer. So, for his backstory, for the whole time, this nigga was called Zero the Pyromancer. He gets his name Pyramerian. He gets his name Pyramerian. And I don't want to spoil too much on how he gets his name or none of that shit. But he coined the name for himself, Pyramerian. And it's crazy. It's a whole crazy ass, dark ass, deep ass story. Because I'm trying to make this. I wanted something dark. It's something that I would watch that's kind of dark, but it's not dark and gritty, but not too edgy. I didn't want no edgy shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want no just shit that's dark for the sake of being dark, my nigga. But I also wanted some Dragon Ball Z shit. You know, this shit has comedy in it. It switches back and forth, but it's no fucking hero run-liners in this bitch. There's no hero run-liners, no bathos of any kind in this bitch. When shit gets serious, shit gets serious. But when shit doesn't get serious, I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, here we go. We got Naya and Enzo and my nigga Enzo. Look how he lurking. He looking like, this the nigga right here, bro? You sure? And this is when I started getting better with the shit. This is when I really started picking up the pace, getting back in my rhythm of drawing. And this is when I started doing that shit. Boom. That one was fire. Switch the page up. This whole little thing right here. Yeah. Yeah. It was hard as fuck to draw all this shit. And I did the little chibi forms too. And oh yeah. You just saw on this page, Zero shapeshifts. Yeah, he shapeshifts. But he won't shapeshift often. He just shapeshifts when he's frustrated, and it's another form of like comedy. It's like a gag sense of humor. It's like he shapeshifts. It's not really helpful because even though he shapeshifts, he cannot hide his tail. Like the tail is permanently attached to him. So that's how you know that he's Zero. He can't shapeshift his tail away. He just has to shapeshift, and his tail has to stay there. So that's why that's how I prevented him from being too OP with this shit. And so this is when Zero makes a little deal. And you know, she bows, showing respect and some shit like that. I ain't like how I made her face. She got a long ass face, little ugly ass face right there. She ain't supposed to look like that. But anyways, Zero's supposed to take him to that big rose because they looking for a weapon. And you know what's crazy? The truth about this shit, when they made the deal, I'm pretty sure I wrote it for the story that Anaya was going to leave Zero in there. Like, Anaya had no intention of taking Zero with him. Like, she was going to do his ass dirty. She's just showing respect right now and this and this and that. She don't really give a fuck about this nigga. She didn't give a fuck about this nigga. And then boom. This is where I really spazzed off and you see all that detail? You know what it took me to draw all that damn detail? A 0.2. A 0.5 and a 0.2. That shit was really difficult. I am not gonna lie. Then I just started getting back on ball, getting back on track, and started drawing some shit that I was spazzing out with. Knocking on the door and shit. And then you got that big rose right there. Right there. Looking like, who the fuck at my door? You see that? Anyways, we switch the page up. And we got that big Rose again. And Rose, basically, this whole scene of Rose doing all this shit, she's basically checking the fuck out of Zero right now. Because she does not fuck with Zero at all. Especially if you know the history between her and Zero. And y'all niggas don't know. But when it gets later on to the story, the audience will find out why Rose don't fuck with Zero at all. But she basically checking Zero like, Zero, who the fuck did you just bring to my house without even giving no warning, no letting nobody know shit? So that's why she zapped the fuck out this nigga. And then not only that, she was also pissed off because that nigga snitched. I don't think it's really because that nigga snitched, but she you know, that's a prize fighter right there. So this Zero basically is a gladiator fighter right now. he's a gladiatorial slave. That's basically what he does. He fights. He fights for a living the whole time. And the reason why he fights for a living made sense. He's been fighting in this goddamn pit for a long time. Let me tell you something. It's crazy. And bam. Let me shut the fuck up because I don't want to tell y'all too much about the story. But anyways, we get here, boom. That shit hurts like hell. You already know. She got her feet on the desk, talking all her shit. And then Rose started talking shit to Anaya. Rose don't really know why the fuck Anaya's here. Rose knows, though, that when she's in fucking Naya, she got that bitch for real, for real. Because Rose is basically like the head of a whole fucking cartel. Basically speaking, like a head of a whole militia. Like a whole militia. Not even a cartel, like a whole militia. Like she got a whole army at her back. But they just busy doing something else right now. She's got a whole fucking squad army. And it's not really hers, it was her father's, you know what I'm saying? But you know, got a whole squad at her fucking back. She talking that shit to Anaya like, bitch, you know where you at right now? You in Naya. Like, what the fuck? Like, where you coming from? Take your ass back. And Rose wants her. Rose is doing this because she doesn't want to fight Anaya. She wants that bitch to leave. And the reason why she wants that bitch to leave because she don't want no problems with the other side of the galaxy. So it's like Mass Effect in a way that it's kind of split in between galaxies. Like, you know how you have Citadel Council Space and the Terminus, and like, you have Citadel Council Space and then you have the Terminus systems. Basically, it's the same way. You have Aurora Council Space, the Aurora Council Space, and then you have Nio, which is basically where she's in control of. Basically where this motherfucker lives, where she's in control of. And she's from Aurora Council Space. She don't want to fight this bitch because she knows if she does anything to really harm this bitch, if she does anything to really hurt her, it's going to come back to her. Because, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, that took me a long ass time to draw. That was really hard to draw. I'm not going to lie. Did not rock the shit. And then this is where the fight scenes start. I really spazzed out on these scenes. I was high as fuck when I drew this shit. But I was really spazzing out on this shit. I ain't going to lie to you. Anyways. These scenes right here I really spazzed out on. And then I really switched up Rose's look in the middle of this shit. And you will see all these different types of face features and stuff like that, how I drew them. It's because I couldn't really decide at the time how I wanted these characters to really look. I didn't know if I wanted to keep the whole entire anime style feel to it, or have like a realistic anime style with it, or just have a realistic style in general. I didn't really know what I wanted at the time. But I did, you know what I'm saying? Boom, 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 boom. Cause oh yeah, that's the move right there. She jumped the hell up. And Enzo was rating. Shot that nigga in the back of the head. Boom, shot that nigga chest. Those are non-lethal ammunition, but that shit is still ammunition, so you know. He's shooting the fuck out of that shit. So she jumps up, dodges all the ammo. That was one of the hardest shits to draw in this bitch too. Because I had to draw that while drawing this and that going up there. To confirm that they're missing. She's just doing backflips and dodging all this shit. Da 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 da. Then she jumps all the way up. Boom, slams the fuck down. And creates like a shockwave that picks all these niggas up. And then Enzo, as soon as, and you know, this is not even for a long while that they get picked up. It's just, they're good up in the air. Enzo just, doom, hit markers, they shit. This nigga's hacking. Got aimbot on. And then you get Rose and Anaya. And holy. I get a lot of compliments on that one. I'm not gonna lie. That shit was fire. And Zero just getting pieced up back here. I don't know what the fuck this nigga think he doing. Mink, mink. I just realized something. that might be a continuity error because I didn't draw him with the collar there. Got knee in the fucking face. Gets picked up by his tail. Gets slammed into this goddamn wooden table into the ground. So it's through the wooden table and through the ground. And I know Zero got CTE all... Bro, he got... I'm telling you. Rose getting mad at that because that was an expensive ass table. You know what I'm saying? I would get mad at it too. Naya trying to piece that hole up. Takes off. And this is the first time where you see her claws. Not gonna lie. That shit crazy. She can really extend her claws out, but her claws is kind of like human. It's kind of like human nails, but she can really extend them out and have claws like that. She can really push it out and have claws. And like, it sharpens automatically. I forgot what the fuck I did. A whole lot of bullshit. Just know she got claws. Then she can extend them anytime. And then they started fighting. And then got her sword took it from her. Then Rose had enough. Rose just had enough of this bitch just coming in here, messing her up, minking her up, beating her shit, taking her sword away. So she pulls out a Glock. She, pulls out a little strap, a little laser pistol. Bow. Shoots her in her shit. Even the odds. She said that's cheating. No, it's more like common sense. Cause it's common fucking sense. If I'm getting my ass beat, I'm just pulling out the strap, bro. That's it. I'm tired of getting beat up. At least as bad as Rose. Then this is when Zero's tail comes into play. Zero's tail wraps around this nigga. He pulls himself back up due to the fact that the reason why Zero pulls himself back up is due to the fact he wants that tail off of him. So he's going to pull his arm up to try to get him off. And when he pulls his arm up, he's going to pull Zero up with it. Because that let me tell you, this little tail is strong and hard, and that shit will wrap up tight like a anaconda, boa constrictor and shit like that. Like, it's really tough to get off, so that's why he had no choice but to lift that shit up. And was going to pull Zero out. And this nigga got a whole power suit. And you'll see at the end, this nigga's a Harkin with a whole power suit for Zero. And I know it may not seem like much that Zero's getting minked up and this and that and all this other shit. But that should tell you how strong this nigga is, that he has to have a whole power suit just to deal with Zero ass. Even though he's an Harkin. And Harkins, by nature, can like beat the fuck out of humans and pretty much anything that's in that bitch. So then he uses kind of like Earth style, you know what I'm saying? He picks up the Earth, wraps up everything around him. Then he started coming at him with the fire. He's trying to melt that suit the fuck off of him. He's trying to get that suit off of him. He's trying to break that suit. Fuck it off him. And then this is when he does his electricity attack. Now, I know that looks like a Kamehameha. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got inspired by the Kamehameha when I was doing that shit. But it's not a Kamehameha. It's just electric. It's just electricity, bro. It's just electricity. And that shit took off his arm, bro. And so anyways, Anaya is wounded by this goddamn laser pistol. So she is just flying away. Doom. Still shooting at her ass. Doom. And so Anaya has this power. She could throw singularities at niggas. So she really threw a singularity, like a little miniature black hole, towards this bitch. Then grabs her by the hair. Throws her all over the fucking balcony. And she's tired of playing with her ass. Nah. This bit right here is just angry as fuck. I would be too. Personally, I would be angry as fuck too. starts trying to claw ass with that shit. She tried to kick him, and then this is when Enzo fucks up. And this is a rare fuck up from Enzo. A rare one. A rare fuck up. He called out Anaya's name. Anaya got distracted when she was about to kick the shit out this bitch. Got yoked up, starting getting the life squeezed the fuck out of her. I'm not gonna lie to you. And not only that, she's Anaya's telekinetic, has telepathy, all that shit, all that good shit. Boom, shot that bitch in the face. Ain't shit really happened. Then Zero comes in. Boom, hit this bitch with a mean ass back shot. Pause. Hit with a back shot with some magic. Was not playing with ass. They not playing with ass no more. And Rose is not playing anymore either, because she's in one of her transformations. She's in one of her transformational state. And I do not think that this is her final transformation. Actually, no. This is not her final transformation at all. Definitely not. This is just halfway through her final transformation. And then she throws this bitch. Don't. She can still hold weapons. She's still holding guns and shit. Cause I mean, Rose got a little bit of magic, but she mainly prefers guns. Cause guns, you know, she really a shooter. Pop. And not only that, it's kind of like, you know, a little bit of acid. I think I gave this bitch like acid breath along with fucking. So she spit that little acid shit. Then she shot that bit in the back. And then Zero came in clutch, saved the fuck out of Anaya. Cause Zero knew that Anaya couldn't take that shit. Anaya couldn't take that shit. Not in that base level, anyways. Not in base level, Anaya can't take that shit. Got his whole back and torso, and Zero has human level durability. So got his whole back and shit tore the fuck up. And then this is when she charges up. Gets more markings on her face and shit like that. Vroom, vroom. Dodges that shit. Throws the chandelier. Rose punts that shit out the way. And then boom. Fuck her ass up. Anyways, that's really the only fight scenes that I feel like we got in this bitch. Only fight scene I really drew in this shit. I really like drawing the fight scenes, even though it took a long time. And then, but I had to move it on, and I had to put some backstory in it too. And so, this is basically, she said, "Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?" It's crazy. I had to do a show don't tell moment right there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you go through this bitch right here. Then tries to wake Zero up. Zero shit already healing. You know, he got regenerative powers and shit. You don't know, but it's gonna become quite apparent that this nigga is not natural. And Zero did not feel any comfort in a long time. So that's first time of comfort. And not only that, he does not like to get attached to niggas. You know what I'm saying? Sort of like me. I don't like to get attached to too many niggas. You know what I'm saying? So pick that bitch up like, bitch, get off me. You know what I'm saying? And that's when Anaya convinces him. That's when Anaya convinces him to work with her. Because Zero original plan was just to leave that planet and just go somewhere else and just live off a normal life. Like, just live another life somewhere else. I don't know where, but just not on that planet anymore. Anaya sees this opportunity. It's like, well, you know what? This nigga could fight. He's regenerating. This is like really crazy. He really go hard in the paint. Anaya realized that. You know, real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? saw that shit, said, you know what? You can join me, my G. Like, you can really join me. Now, we gonna take part in this deal, but you can really join me. I ain't like how I made that nigga cry. I ain't like how I made him look when he was crying, bro. Like, it looked weird, bro. Like, I really want to have a chance to draw this shit over again. On me. I really want to have a chance to draw this shit over again. And to do it really better. And maybe fix up the script a little bit. Because some of these are fill-ins. And this is when Zero... He has a concussion. I'm not lying to you. This nigga has a concussion. Anaya's got powers. That could really... Because, you know, she's a telepath. She could really... And healing powers. So she's got all that shit. Basically... He's only he's barely seeing her. And in the manga, like, now I know I just showed this shit, but really what it's supposed to show is that he's seeing 4 of her. He is seeing 4 of her, and they're going back into one. I could have drawn this shit better, but I was, like, running out of time and shit. I was really running out of time when it came to that shit. So then you see flowers and shit, and you see me change up the art style once again. And I've been changing it a good little bit because I didn't know what I wanted to stick to. I honestly, God, did not know what I wanted to stick to. With the art style. No tracing, no none of that shit. I know some niggas may think I was tracing or some shit like that. No. This shit took a good little minute to draw by myself. And if you could look closely, you'll see some sketch lines. Like, you see at Rose's nose... You'll see how I drew that circle. Because I usually start off damn near all the faces. All of that shit with circles and shit. And then I'll like sketch the circles and then I'll come back and erase it. This style for Rose, I created on the spot. I really enjoy that shit. Because I went back. And I remember how I figured this out. Because I was watching Arcane. And I was like, damn. I really fuck with Jinx's hair, bro. Like, I really fuck with how the little flap comes down on that shit. You know what I'm saying? The little, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. The little flap in the front of her fucking face. The little fold shit in front of her face. That shit go hard, bro. Like, and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep that shit. Put it on Rose. Bam. That's what you got. But she's her own character and shit. Her own person. Rose got a bunch of bodies. This is a little backstory shit. This is a little, you know... We trying to make it so you could come back for some more later because you're trying to figure out, ooh, what the fuck happened? Why are they talking like this? Why is niggas talking like this? Got her face pressed up against the wall. And Rose ass looking sad as fuck in that cell. Look at the mirror. Sad as hell. Now, I'm not gonna lie. We added this part in. I added this part in not only because I was tired of niggas saying that she looked like a fucking elf. Like, this bitch is not an elf. She's, like, basically a feline. Like, she's basically like a Pantherina gene. Like, you know, part feline, part human. Like, not part human, but part Natilian. Well, not part... Basically, part feline, part human. But in this show, in this little show that I wrote, it's really Natilian. She's really a pure Natilian. So basically, and that's kind of somewhat how they evolved a little bit. It's a crazy story, but we're not gonna get into that. I don't really get into deep with that. Just know that she's a tiger bitch. That's all you need to know. She's a tiger bitch, and that's why I drew all of these markings on her. I drew the markings on her because I was like, I kind of really want her to look like a tiger. You know what I'm saying? I wanted her to kind of look like a tiger. You know what I'm saying? With all that shit on her. So when she takes that shit out, you're gonna see that, like, you know, she's a tiger bitch. Anyways, he's in her fridge. Zero's in that bitch fridge. Did not ask for no permission, nothing. Just in the fridge, eating shit. Well, I mean, she did say Mikasa, Sukasa and shit. And I did give Zero one fear that I had. And I still to this day have. Centipedes. I don't fuck with centipedes. I don't like looking at centipedes. I hate centipedes. So basically, he's afraid of centipedes. Naya isn't. And she had like a fucking sea centipede in her in the fucking room. He's scared of that shit. He don't like that shit at all. Nigga, update. I would be doing the same thing. I really enjoyed how I drew her face in this one. Don't. You can't trust Natillians. This bit Naya was looking for all the ways that she can really play and use this nigga. She's genuine. She's good at heart. Don't get me wrong. She's a good character. You're gonna see over time, bro. Like, she's like, it's crazy, man. But I mean, like, bro, this shit is really. Fuck, I forgot to draw some of these people's faces and shit. I was concerned about getting this shit done with. Oh no, that's not the face. Nigga, that's the table. I'm so stupid. Anyways. More chibi shit. I like drawing the chibi stuff. It's really cool. And then she does his hair. And then this right here, how she's looking in this one, and somewhat how he's looking in this one, this is what I was really strongly leaning to. I was strongly leaning towards drawing them like this and keeping them like this. I'm still leaning towards that shit. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it like that, but I'm still leaning towards that one. I really like that one. And then she's doing his hair before they get there, so he won't look like a hot ass mess, and give him, like, you know, other clothes and shit like that. In the space shit, that's all you need to know. This next one, these two ones, I was inspired by Mass Effect and goddamn some other shit. And this shit took me the longest to draw. So, it's a whole fucking, I don't know if you can see it. It's a whole city right there that I drew on this one. And on this one, it's like a whole fucking castle. That shit took a good little minute to draw. Anyways, they get to the throne room. Present him. You know what I'm saying? That's her dad. He's the king. And King's a good guy. Well, he's not the king. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, for y'all, as far as y'all concerned, he's the king. But no, he's the Grand Emperor. Grand Emperor of this damn near the whole galaxy. Grand Emperor. And you don't become Grand Emperor for no fucking reason. You don't stay Grand Emperor for no fucking reason. And I know he seems like a cool dude. Nice dude. Nice, long ass hair and shit. I might edit his little design, because I just got bored. But I did know how I wanted him to look originally. I wanted him to have long hair. I wanted him to look like a king. An old, wise king. He has long hair, this and that. And yes, he's going to follow the trope of being that dude that is I'm gonna spoil that one. He's gonna follow the old men trope, which is when them niggas look frail and old and shit. No, this nigga gonna take off his cloak. He's gonna be buff as shit, buff as Rock Johnson, bro. This shit gonna go crazy. We just haven't gotten to that point yet. Basically, Zero is didn't want her. Yeah, Zero didn't want that bitch touching the necklace. That's basically what it was. They got into this bitch, didn't want her touching the necklace. This bitch, no boundaries, came back while Zero was sleeping, tried to read his mind. And in this, she was taken for a spin. Damn near knocked the ass out. And in this part, people was confused by this. Basically, Anaya was falling. She was looking into Zero's past. So she was reading this nigga's mind. This side is Zero's past. It's Zero's fucking past. And this gives hints to his, like, goddamn origins and shit later on that you'll see in the series. And, like, the second at the start of the second season. At the start of the second season, or maybe the second arc. No, the second, third arc, you'll see this shit. And then this is their fucking future. This is the future. This is the future. This is her future that she's seeing. Parts of her future that she's seeing. And she's wondering, hold on, because it's getting dark up in this bitch. That's better. I don't know if y'all can see that. But anyways, this is parts of her future that she's seeing. And basically, it's really creepy because they in like this whole, like, she's gonna appear like in this water shit, like you know in Naruto how they have the whole water and shit and just everything's cleared out. Gonna appear it somewhat like that, and you're gonna hear some Lucy the Gathering devil shit, like them calling her name, you know what I'm saying? And then this bitch turn around, see, you have been chosen and shit, da 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 da. Basically, you find out right here. This bitch right here is Zero's mom. Forgive me for calling her a bitch. That's Zero's mom. Zero's mom is a whole ass god. Is a whole ass, you know, god. They gotta train this nigga and shit to become the strongest, to avert a threat that's supposed to take place in like 20 years. Or some shit like that. Either 10, 20 years. I forgot. But anyways, that's Zero's mom. Zero is literally a god. That nigga's a god. But he's not born in the same realm as they are, and you know, shit like that. It's crazy. I can get into it too much, but that's why Zero's such an anomaly. That's why he can mimicry powers. That's why the nigga can't really die. Like, he could get split open, he just regenerate. That's why he can't really die. His tail is indestructible, though. He always regenerates by the damn tail, which is crazy. And then I added this extra part. So, because I wanted it to kind of have like an invincible type feel to it. Like, you start this shit off, you think it is all sweet and good and shit. And then this is when we add the cussing. This is when we add the vulgar language, the violence. And that nigga that Zero's fighting, that Harkin. And then we added this villain in. No. I know who this villain is. Y'all don't know who this villain is. But he's not going to show up until later in the series when the Paladins comes back to this planet. But this nigga, he's a menace. He's a menace. Him and his little rival is a menace. I'm letting you know right now. His rival is even more of a menace than this nigga is. His rival. I'm talking about dude with scars. Comes in, boom, boom, boom. Comes in with all that shit. Shoots that nigga in the head. Bow. No more of that nigga. Cuts that nigga's head off. Bow. No more of that nigga. And then this is the bird that Anaya saw. Is it? Yep. All blood, guts, and gores and shit like that. And that's the bird that she saw. And it says to be continued, you know, because it is to be continued. You can see it right there. That snake is eating that fucking bird. Let me see. And that's supposed to be foreshadowing. It's foreshadowing some shit that's going to happen in the future. When I can't tell y'all too much about that. But anyways,